Well, there it is. There's that song again. I've been playing that song for, well, shoot, I don't know, 2 years now. You're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. I'm your host for the evening, or the morning. Sorry, it's still too early. Steve O'Brien. And, yeah, the website, rtradio.org. The date, well, August the 9th and Sunday morning and whatnot. Anyways, our show is really mainly about Texas independence. It's called the Republic of Texas Radio. Well, because I'm a member of the Republic of Texas, and I kind of support that group. It's over at thetexasrepublic.com. Now, there's a majority. There's a lot of different groups that are supporting an independence and free Texas, and I just can't seem to get my tongue to work this morning. It's rather kind of cute, or maybe it's not. So we'll get through this. But I needed to get through some stuff before I started talking about Texas and Texas independence. Because if you're an RBN listener, then you probably know what I'm about to talk about. Maybe you don't. If you're new to Republic Broadcasting, I ask that you stay tuned to Republic Broadcasting and don't just listen to this show. If you're listening to one of our archives, then go to republicbroadcasting.org. There are many, many different hosts out at Republic Broadcasting that'll tell you information that you won't hear anywhere else. Well, John Statmiller, he would be the station owner of Republic Broadcasting. He's been a broadcaster for, I think it's about, well, it's a little over 20 years. I always think back at that time and where I was 20 years ago. And at that time, John Statmiller was putting up this little radio station called Republic International. Now, it was a C-band type thing, and, you know, he took information that nobody else was getting out there to the masses, and he beamed it up to a satellite. And it came down, and, you know, people could actually hear alternate media for, well, I'd say the first time. Sure, there was shortwave stuff going on and, you know, all that. But this was the first time somebody started doing, you know, I think it's the first time. And, you know, I gotta, you know, applaud John Statmiller for doing that. He's had a lot of, you know, stuff on his back for many years right now. Can you imagine trying to keep the ship together for 20 years, keep this going, try to support yourself, try to actually have a business? RepublicBroadcasting.org is a business, right? It might be a business with a mission, you know, kind of an activist thing. But it does support people. It does, you know, pay people, right? It's not a team of volunteers, and they need money. One of the things that, well, we should have been hearing all week would be that Republic Broadcasting needs money. And John Statmiller he comes on intermittently telling you, oh my God, folks, things are bad and we need to donate. And I really do want you guys to think about donating something today. I want you to donate $5 to Republic Broadcasting. Just $5. You can donate something else if you want. But I don't know about you, but I can't afford a whole bunch. But I can afford $5 right now. Maybe tomorrow you can call and give more if you've got it. Maybe I can too. But I'll be giving $5 here in a little bit. But why should we give $5? What do we know about Republic Broadcasting? We know John Statmiller's been up on the air for, well, 20 years. Well, I don't know. Let me play you a clip, and then we're going to start talking about why Republic Broadcasting is important to me and, well, why I give my $5, my $20, my $100, my $500. Hey, Sam, if you got that clip ready, you want to roll that for me?
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
Hey guys, so I need to clear up a bit about the promo spot that played on the radio yesterday. I'll play you the clip. It's a recording from John Statmiller's show. He's a national talk show host out of Austin.
He can be heard on AM/FM stations across America and over the internet. Just do a search. Anyways, here's the clip.
I was talking a little bit earlier, and this is about local activism, folks. I was talking to Steve O'Brien. They have their Fredericksburg Speaks event. They had one a couple of weeks ago. They had about 30, 40 people that showed up. And they hold this at the Fredericksburg Brewery Company in the beer garden area. I'm assuming here they serve beer during their meetings. I might have to go for that. There's some good Joyman beer over there. At any rate, April 17th, Steve O'Brien, he does broadcasting himself, by the way, on FBG Live, promoting a free speech event, giving the people of Fredericksburg an opportunity to be heard, as well as listen to personal concerns. Now, what they're using this for, and I was talking to Steve about it, is that there's some issues over there that they're going to the city council with. And apparently they're digging out people from mothballs that used to be mayors, and newspapers that were locally owned are now sold off to somebody else. And what he told me was he can count them on two hands. These are ardent supporters of freedom and liberty and everything that entails thereof. And the rest of the patriots over there are more interested in their survival foods and their guns and their ammunition. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Fredericksburg, but a lot of you patriots are just sitting on the sidelines doing nothing. While the band of merry men here are trying to make some at least changes within the city of Fredericksburg. And somehow that just strikes me as being wrong. We all have, my attitude about if you need your boogie bag and your rifle and your ammunition, you know where it's at. Most assuredly go out to the range and be proficient with your weapons and make sure your stash of ammunition is kept up and your guns are well oiled and all that other stuff, and then put it back in the closet and then go out there and do some good for the community. Well, according to Steve, the Tea Party people, remember those people? Yeah. It was like the Sarah Palin Tea Party people. They're actually becoming of more use than patriots in Fredericksburg. I was astounded. So, God, you get more mileage out of a stolen agenda. It was actually Ron Paul's Tea Party. I remember because back in 2007 I was down here on, I think it was Lady Bird Lake, down here in Austin, Texas, after a march from the Capitol down Congress Avenue to have our own little tea party. I was talking to people that were going to vote for Hillary Clinton or vote for Barack Obama. And here I am in lockstep marching down the street with people that, were Democrats, but now they're Ron Paul Tea Party supporters. Well, that was hijacked from Ron Paul. But I find it odd, folks, that Tea Partiers would get it before patriots would. I don't know. Maybe I Rip Van Winkle for a while and I forgot what a patriot is. Or maybe I didn't.
Well, this is not just political. It's really about communications. It's about people getting together and talking about what concerns them and listening to other people and other people's concerns by trying to understand people. Now, I hate labels, but how else are we to be specific when addressing groups during communications? But that might be my point exactly. Individuals are more important than the groups we lump ourselves into. Now, groups are fine. They provide avenues to enhance ourselves. Some groups may restrain you till you let go of the group. Well, you let go, you become so much more. Again, to John's point, yes, I do see more support from Tea Party folks and from the newer assemblage, the occupiers. And I do know a lot of survivalists, patriots, whatever. And I get your position. It's okay. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. I'd love to have you along as we cast off this whole polarization thing, that us versus them mentality. That's so old. It's gotta go. In my view, most of us want to be good people, create a better world for us and our kids. And I'd implore you to just follow your heart, man. It's all gonna be okay. You'll see. If you want more information about this event, email us at fbgspeaks@gmail.com or visit our YouTube channel. Just do a search on the internet for FBG Space Speaks. That should bring up our video. Click on it, give you the information. Well, that's it, my friends, patriots, Tea Partiers, occupiers, and Ron Paulers. Love you all. Take care. This is Steve O'Brien, and I'm the Rabbit.
I don't
Okay.
accept the world.
Well, that was over 3 years ago. It seems like a long time in my reality, and I haven't actually heard it. But the reason I played that to you was to show how important Republic Broadcasting and John Stadtmiller has been to me personally. See, I'm what you might call a activist, right? I believe strongly in freedom and liberty, and I believe in talking and getting out there and trying to reach out to people. By John Stadtmiller and Republic Broadcasting, just them amplifying my little voice one little bit. That means the world to me. Donation line is 800-724-2719, extension 3. I do need some donations to come into John today. If you've been listening to the network, you know that he hasn't been doing the show all week, and I have listened to the Stadtmiller show a couple days, and I know he's been doing guest hosts, and he might be a little sick at the moment. I have no inside information about that. Don't know how sick. Maybe he's just tired. It's a long road, right? All of a sudden you have to get back on the radio and sit there and beg for money. I don't like commercials, but I do like commercials, if you get my point. Lately on Republic Broadcasting, there's been a lot of new advertisers there, and that gives me some hope because I believe in working for your money. Republic Broadcasting should work for its money. It has a large listening audience, and if you're an advertiser, man, you should call the station. You can call that same number, that 800-724-2719. Extension number 3. That'll probably get you some information. Go to republicbroadcasting.org because you have a target audience that is, awake, aware. You can sell your products. You can actually galvanize support for stuff and things. Who are you looking for? I'm with, the Republic of Texas. Well, I'm really with freedom and liberty. I talk about a lot of groups that are trying to achieve freedom and liberty in Texas. I can tell you about 3 of them. We'll be talking about 3 of them today. And I'll tell you some of the macerations or, whatever, the things that are going on. But all those groups, be it the Republic of Texas, the Texas Nationals, or Freedom Texas, they should be advertising on this network. I should hear their little blips. It don't cost much. And that way, Republic Broadcasting could actually, work for its money instead of having the hosts have to come on or the station owner. My God, come on and beg for his money? Come on, get real, folks. It really is time to fund this. I don't know. I've been hard-pressed to deal with that. 800-724-2719, extension number 3. Nobody asked me to come on and talk about money. maybe it's something that I learned by watching way too much damn PBS as a kid, but I do know that it's important to fund this operation, and I don't get paid anything for doing what I'm doing. It costs me money every month, every week. It costs me time, lots of money, lots of resources just get funneled in, and I'm not asking for money for myself. I'm asking for money for Republic Broadcasting. I will get on with the show, and we'll start talking about freedom and independence in Texas and what's going on, because believe it or not, there's a lot going on with the Texas independence movement. There's lots of people. There are objects in motion every week, constantly. I'm getting whispers about different groups, and I'm kind of like going, is that real? Is that real? Well, I know what's real, and we'll be getting to it. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, Republic Broadcasting and how important it is. I hope that if you can make a donation at the 800-724-2719 phone number, extension 3, go to republicbroadcasting.org. I'll shut my trap about that, at least for a moment, as I segue on to Texas news. I just wanted to do a few minutes, folks. Please forgive me. Actually, please fund John and Republic Broadcasting. That clip was called Patriots, Occupiers and Survivalists, and Ron Paulers or some dang stuff like that. And, I recorded that when I was, communicating or working with the Occupy folks over there in Austin when they still existed as a group. They might still exist as somewhat of a group. And I know the Tea Party still kind of exists. Now, I don't know what they're doing, and I've covered a lot of Tea Party events back in, 2012, and I met a lot of different people. They had some good speakers. They weren't necessarily too friendly to me because I didn't, sign on the dotted line and, believe their reality. The Tea Partiers are more like Fox News people to me. They kind of get it, but they're just so filled with fear and whatnot that they go any direction whatsoever. And the Occupiers they were co-opted, and, that's that. They're gone. But I bring up the Tea Partiers again because part of my news for this week, and, we're going to be getting into the Doc Brown or Dr. David Krupa and Susie Kamek information coming up at the end of the hour. But I wanted to talk a little bit about Freedom, Texas, because Freedom, Texas went down to, Williamson County this Saturday. Now, Saturday was a big day for freedom in Texas. Second Saturday of every month, the Republic of Texas, they meet and they try to hash out, the workings and macerations of, a government in occupied territory and make plans for the restoration of the Republic. So that happened this yesterday in Tomball, Texas. It's the last time it'll be in Tomball for a while, and we'll get more into that. But meanwhile, as the Republic of Texas was meeting in Tomball, Texas, the folks from Freedom, Texas took a drive to Williamson County and met with a Tea Party group. Now, the Tea Party group had some high-up, muckety-muck soldier type, and he was speaking to the Tea Party about Texas, leaving the United States. Well, when I was talking to Phil Robbins about this, he was kind of happy about it, and I was happy about it because, until that time, the Tea Parties are all, let's not talk about, Texas leaving, the United States. We're working in the system to fix the system, and, that don't work. So we had all four of those, Freedom Texas executive directors. They have an interesting organizational structure. I know if you go to freedomtexas.org, you can have a look at those guys. They meet every first Tuesday of the month over in Cleburne, Texas. They met, at the same time as the Doc Krupa and Susie Kamek trial. That was this last, what day was that? Oh, man, I get lost in my days sometime. Well, I'll straighten it out, and I'll be right back. Hang on.
Wouldn't it be nice to have one product that replaces more than 10, saving you space, time, and money? HempUSA.org has a complete full-spectrum vitamin mineral detox formulation called Micro Plant Powder Gold. Micro Plant Powder Gold contains 101 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and iodine. Has a 100-year shelf life and is a perfect addition to any storage shelter. Make Micro Plant Powder Gold your choice. Call 888-910-4367 or visit HempUSA.org today.
Come to Finca Baiano, a small community in Panama, which is being established for people who believe that a future crisis may be difficult to survive in North America after a collapse of the system. Go to bugoutpanama.com for more information. There is limited space for 100 people only. Go to bugoutpanama.com to immigrate as long as you can. Prepare. Don't despair at bugoutpanama.com.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy Epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Okay. Well, sometimes that bumper music, even though I like it a lot, it just takes up my time. You're listening to the Republic of Texas radio show. I'm your host, Steve O'Brien, and today I'm pushing for funds for Republic Broadcasting. It's very important. They need your support. John Statmiller's not on the phone or on the radio telling you to donate. I am, and he didn't ask me to do it. I think it's important. If you want to, you can call in right now, and I know you probably support Republic Broadcasting in some other ways, a monthly donation or big bulk sums when John calls and says the sky is falling, and we all know it's important. Republic Broadcasting is important. Let me give you the phone number, and I'll get back to the story. 800-724-2719, extension 3, or go to republicbroadcasting.org. Now, I was trying to tell you before the music came in, and we heard from our sponsors about last Tuesday, and I don't think I was articulating myself very well. 2 events occurred on August the 4th. One would be the trial of Dr. David Krupa, and it was the pretrial hearing, and the pretrial hearing for Susie Kamek. That happened at 9 o'clock in the morning, and Frankie and I will be talking about that here in another 5 minutes or so. So hang in on that. But at the exact same time, not at the exact same time, about 6 o'clock at night, the Freedom Texas folks were holding their monthly meeting. They meet every first Tuesday in Cleburne, Texas. They pulled about 60 people and a lot of new faces, and a lot of people just came over and said, yes, it's time. I get that kind of response, a lot too. You'd be amazed at how many people want to, leave and just want to be free and are tired of it. Anyways, so these two events occur on the 4th, and then on Saturday the 8th, well, we're bumping into each other again. All of a sudden, the Freedom Texas folks, they're on the road and they're dealing with the Tea Party, and, well, the Republic of Texas is sitting there doing their things. How many different groups are meeting every single day and trying to work this thing out? Different groups, similar groups, maybe different groups. I know there's the Texas Nationals out there, and they're doing their things, and I'm not really privy to a lot of what they're doing. I did go to their website this morning to see if anything was new on the Texas National front, and I found something really fun, and before the next break comes, I want to try to tell you about it. So that's at, let's see, the THETMN.org, whatever. I always go to texnat.org, TEXNAT.org. They have so many domain names. Whatever, guys. You're fine. And by the way, love all you guys that are, working towards freedom and liberty. I do understand that, you're heading that way. I totally agree. So there was they're doing this thing. They're doing a tour of Texas. The Texas Nationals are, and they made a stop. I believe it was in the Dallas area, and, on the front page of their website, they're running a little ad, and then, not ad, they're doing the news. And in this news, they're actually receiving comments. And this guy, and I wanted to share this one with you because I think it's wonderful. It's this guy named Ed Stanley, or at least allegedly his name is Ed Stanley. He says, I have to admire you for your strong patriotism for Texas. As a lifelong citizen of Texas and a former teacher of Texas history and American history scholar, I have great love for not only Texas but the U.S. as well. Okay, I know where that's going right off the bat, right? First you come in, you say, I am important. I used to teach Texas history. U.S. style, right? As per the book. Interesting. Controlled media, controlled educational system. I know where his head is. And he's an American history scholar. And then he comes on and said, that said, okay, dude, cool. I feel there's a better way to go than by working from the ground up. Whatever that meant. I guess the English isn't right. But he goes on, he says, we need to put our state in order instead of just casting off this wonderful relationship with America. And now I'm paraphrasing. And, he's long and windy, and he says that America and Texas have been getting along for a long time. There's no need to throw the baby out from the bathwater. And I'm going, this is wonderful. And, of course, the answer, he tells us, is in the 10th Amendment. And we need to nullify these laws and elect people to, to make things better. That's the music, and dang, we're going to be bringing Frankie on next. And so hang in there. We'll go around the commercial. Be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Recent events have shown just how vulnerable we are to deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. These diseases are all caused by infectious pathogens that often get the upper hand on conventional medical treatments. Now more than ever, there's a great need for a product that will help protect us. Look no further. Supernatural Silver can provide immune system support to help fight off these deadly pathogens. Supernatural Silver is a new and vastly improved type of silver solution that's safe and extremely effective against 143 types of bacteria bacteria, both forms of viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver can be taken orally or used topically and can be used in a nebulizer or vaporizer for inhalation. With over 180 scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions, Supernatural Silver is a powerful weapon against disease. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off your entire order. Give you and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
There are many water filters to choose from, but there is only one system that is consistently customer rated 5 stars as the #1 system for effective filtration of fluoride, radiation, drug residues, heavy metals, a wide range of radioisotopes, and more. Introducing the Pure Effect Ultra, the next generation water filter that also raises alkaline pH, improves antioxidant potential, and has advanced anti-radiation technology, all while using no electricity. Sold worldwide, it provides virtually instant clean water on demand. It is not made in China, and the shipping is free to all 50 states. Buy your Pure Effect Ultra today by visiting PureEffectFilters.com. or call 888-891-4821. Again, that's 888-891-4821. Or visit PureEffectFilters.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Extendovite really works. Here is what people are saying.
A year ago, I was realizing that I was in serious problems with my heart. You know, I had these chest pains and so on. I realized that I had to do something and quick. Didn't want to go the medical route. So I started in doing some investigating, and somebody told me about these heart drops. I got on the heart drops prescribed dosage. Within 2 weeks, I immediately started seeing the results. This is working. I'm going to stick with it. I can't deny the fact that when I got on the heart drops initially, there was immediate help, an immediate turnaround.
To get your Extendovite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Dr. Joel Wallach, author of the famous health lecture Dead Doctors Don't Lie, presents his newest book, Epigenetics. Epigenetics is required reading for the very survival of Americans, and yes, all of humanity. Modern man has bet on the wrong horse to save them from disease and pestilence. The medical system has failed us fearfully. Join the health revolution. Buy Epigenetics today and receive a free membership to purchase all the products that Dr. Joel Wallach formulated at wholesale prices, and receive a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. All this for only $25 plus shipping and handling. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311. Again, that's just $25 plus shipping and handling. And you'll receive the new book, Epigenetics, a free membership, and a free CD of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Call 888-311-4311. That's 888-311-4311.
Okay. So, you're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio, and I'm Steve O'Brien, and I'm going to finish up with this little thing over at the Texas Nationals website, texnat.org. You can look at the comments of the events, and it's kind of interesting. It's interesting that so many people are looking for, well, freedom and independence, and they've heard nothing about groups like, Freedom Texas, the Republic of Texas, or the Texas Nationals. It's about time that we all come together and start behaving like men and working towards a single cause instead of out there flailing. It's one of the things I like about the Freedom Texas folks. They say, come on, you want freedom? Let's go. Let's form an alliance. We're the same at the Republic of Texas. Let's get together. Let's make this thing bigger. This guy over there was commenting, right? He calls himself Ed Stanley. And, it was very interesting, right? Because first he wanted to tell us that he was a Texas scholar and a school teacher, and we should respect his opinion. Frames the first sentence. And I go, well, I don't believe the schools and teachers might just be as bad as television sets or movies. So you got to deal with your history a little bit differently once you get to a point of awareness. Anyways, Ed Stanley goes on to say, respect America. We like America. He ends the thing how does he end it? Here it goes. To secede from the Union is to forsake all that Texas and America stands for. Please, let's work from the perspective of love of country and state to make both better. God bless America and Texas. Okay. Dude, really? Ed Stanley, really? What does America stand for? Can you tell me? Slavery? Personal slavery, corporate slavery. You're a 14th Amendment corporation, by the way. Your 10th Amendment stuff ain't going to do nothing. But I don't want to fight with you. I want to tell you that history isn't the way that you've been taught, the way that you've been teaching. Most likely, I might be wrong, but I'm probably not. If you're part of the school system and been a teacher for a while, your brain is probably wired in a strange little way. You believe all the facts that were in print, and maybe, you believe that history is different and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyways, I loved the conversation over there. One of the guys, I think it was John Davis from the Texas Nationals, went ahead and he responded to that. And it's a good read. You can go over to textnat.org and check them out. I support all these different groups, to a certain extent. I just want independence for Texas. I got Frankie on the line, so I'm wasting time talking about the Texas Nationals when I could be saying, hey, Frankie, are you there?
I'm always here, Steve. How's it going this morning?
You are always there, huh?
Yep.
Okay. It's going pretty good. I'm having a hard time keeping my head, around words and thoughts and things like that. But we have a lot to talk about, right?
Sure. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
So, what you want to start with?
Let me sing the Susie and Doc song first, right? Okay. Let's start from the beginning. So if anybody doesn't understand what's going on with the legal situation with Dr. David Krupa and Susie Kamek, here's the story. About 10 years ago, there's this lady. Her name is Susie Kamek. She's part of the Republic of Texas. The Republic of Texas has been around for, about 10 years right now, 2007. She's a House representative in that organization. Well, 10 years ago, she was ending a relationship with a loved one. She was married and, big old divorce thing going on. Well, the husband went ahead and took out a loan without her knowledge, forged a signature, took the money, and left the country. A few years later, Susie Kamek finds out that, her ex-husband, this ex-loved one, stole money and left her holding the bag. We were going through the mortgage crisis at the time, and, they were doing their little horse trading with the debt from the mortgage, and they're sitting there. They lost chain of custody. Surprise! Well, they continue to go after Susie Kamek, and they didn't really care that she never signed the mortgage documents. No, that doesn't really matter, right? But her name is there. But you didn't. That's not my signature. Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Okay, so they ignore that fact. This is the government. This is the state. This is more important. This is finance. Okay. Got it. Chain of custody. You don't have any chain of custody. Well, so what's your point? I don't need it. It's the mortgage thing. So she has to go through all these different macerations, even the fact that the check was written to his name and her name and deposited into his account. That don't matter. It's not legal for them to do it, but they did it, and, screw you. And we need that money from Susie. So Susie's been fighting these guys for 10 years, and I guess a few months ago, she went over to Dr. David Krupa, who was, at the time, a judge in Travis County. Is that right? No, not Travis County. What county is he? Harris
County. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a judge in Harris County and said, hey, look, I need your help. She went to the common law courts of the Republic of Texas to try to get, remedy with the statutory law system in the United States that's, broken, and, this whole mortgage fiasco that she's been dealing with for 10 years, that started with theft. And Dr. David Krupa, he goes, okay, I'll do it, right? Okay. So what did they do? They went ahead and challenged the judge with a writ of mandamus and quor warranto? Was it a writ of quor warranto? I don't know all that common law stuff. 2 documents were sent to the judge, and they took exception to that. They also served the mortgage company that currently thought that, that Susie owes them money. That's 10 years they've been fighting to try to take this property from her. And, you got to think that in lawyer funds or lawyer costs, they've already exceeded the value of the property. Of course, that has nothing to do with any groups around Susie's property, buying up property and, trying to make a little thing. I think who is that they were talking about? Oh, the Carlisle group? No, they're not buying up land anywhere, Cheney and his folks. Nah, not the Carlisle group. But anyway, so Doc and Susie go ahead and they file these common law things against, citizens of the United States. And they're not even Texians, so they really have no standing, no hold, no pull. There's no force. There's nothing compelling them to show up for a common law trial. The U.S. government takes an exception to that, or the judge does, and they go ahead and do a multi-jurisdictional raid on Valentine's Day in the VFW Hall in Bryan, Texas. All of a sudden, they take everybody's laptops and they take everybody's cell phones and they take a whole bunch of documents and they leave the guns. Wasn't that funny? That was an interesting part of the whole thing. And we go through to today, where we've actually they went to their houses and they picked them up and threw them in jail, and they abused them and they kept them out. And of course, Doc did the full thing where they drop them out after midnight and don't feed them all the time and make them drink from the toilet, literally, and whatnot. Frankie and I went to the arraignment last month, and we covered that on our show. This time today, that was the 4th. Frankie and I went over to the pretrial hearing, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Okay, where do we start now that we're up to speed? It's the 4th on Tuesday, pretrial hearing. Frankie, why don't you take it from there?
All right, so it's the morning of, I think, the 4th was a Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So we show up, and there's a good number. It's good to see that there was a lot of members of the Republic here this time. A lot of them made it. A lot of them weren't able to make it for the arraignment, but to show for the pretrial was really good. I think it helped for morale, if anything, right?
Right.
And, one of the first things I noticed is that Doc's lawyer is there. Dave Grupa, the former Chief Justice, I guess is what we have to call him now, his lawyer was there, but Ms. Kamek, stateswoman, House Representative Ms. Kamek, her attorney wasn't present. It took quite some time to get there. And she finally shows up. They have a brief moment to talk. And her lawyer just seemed really unprepared. And members of the Republic also were informed that she was showing up that morning to actually quit. She didn't want anything to do with this case.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of that. I don't know what the truth is, but I do remember her not showing up. I look in my notes, and, that didn't happen until, I guess I showed 9:15. Yeah, right. So she was a little late, but yeah, all of a sudden, Doc Krupa and, John Jarnicki. See, John Jarnicki, President of the Republic, has been, kind of walking Doc Krupa, through this whole process, because you know what? Dave is way out of his league when dealing with this legal system. You're talking about a guy that dots the I's and, crosses the T's all through his life. That's a good man, right? He doesn't do stuff wrong. He supports a free and independent Texas because he thinks we should all be good men. And all of a sudden, this system, the statutory law systems that the corporate United States of America uses on its citizens, well, it's intrusive, it's mean, it's vindictive, and it's been eating and chewing on Dr. David Krupa. Well, they ended up going in and striking a deal with Dr. David Krupa. One of the problems with statutory law systems are, well, they have this thing where they go, you can be innocent or guilty. We'll go to trial, and if we go to trial, I'm going to throw the entire damn book at you. Or, the prosecutor, he goes into the back room with you and he says, hey, man, so check it out. Can't guarantee you anything, but I'll tell the judge that I want to give you parole for 15 months. And this is what, this is probably what happened in the back room because this is the outcome of the whole thing. The prosecutor, in his own words, says, I'll give you parole for 15 months. You got to be good. You got to be clean. Whatever the hell that means. You got to resign as the justice of Harris County in the Republic of Texas. You got to disassociate yourself with the Republic of Texas. At least I heard that was something that they told him, and he said, no, I'm not going to do that. So that one was dropped. Well, you have to testify against members of the Republic of Texas, including Susie Kamek, which I thought was an interesting thing that they put in there because, hell, they think that everybody has to testify against everybody else no matter what. They can hit you with a summons, and if you don't testify, then they throw you in jail, right, Frankie? That was kind of redundant when they put that in there.
Right, yeah. It was just, you could see it in, Doc's eyes that this is the first time having to deal with this side of what the state can do, right? Mm-hmm. And they use that intimidation factor a lot when they go for those plea deals. This is why the statutory system is one of the many reasons why it's ridiculous to call it a statutory system justice. But, yeah, you're definitely right. The whole adding in there that he would plead, he agrees to testify against Susie Kamek in this certain case and all that. But something else that was really weird about it was that the fact that the prosecutor made it clear that, well, if other counties that were involved in this pick up this, and they can pick it up and go ahead and still bring charges against Dr. Group.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess so.
He can still sit in a box for this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
then at any moment he can go ahead, what is it? If he doesn't complete their 15 months of supervised probation with I think it was a $500 fine. And
that's correct.
A couple hundred hours of community service, or a couple hours of community service.
Yeah, I don't remember. I thought it was 50, but
I think that's what it is. Yeah, but yeah, so he's been told though if he gets those two done, pays off the fine and gets the community service out of the way, he can ask the courts for early termination of his parole, or not his parole, but his supervised probation.
It's probation, not parole, right?
Right. You got to go to prison to get on parole.
Ah, okay. See, I'm sorry. I'm glad I don't know this stuff that well.
Right.
Yeah, it's
I'm
hard
sad
enough.
that I do know this stuff. It's horrible. I do not like the fact that I know so much about the cement and steel part of the justice system, I guess.
The moment that we saw, Doc Krupa, the moment that this stuff started coming down, first thing when it started coming down was the Valentine's Day raid. Then all of a sudden they picked up Susie first in the morning. That was kind of a non-event. Well, it was an event. They held her overnight and released her the next day during the day, which is highly unusual for the statutory law, or just, the legal system of the United States of America does not release people into the general population again in the daytime. I mean, hardly ever. I'm always used to people being dropped off after midnight, but I'm from California. They want to get that extra buck for the time over. That was strange. But then they picked up Dr. David Krupa and they treated him more normally. You know, they did 3 days in jail for his picking him up, and they released him at midnight. Oh man, he was crumbling from that point on.
Right. And you know, you could see it. You know, and you could see it in the other members too of the Republics that were there. It's a harsh reality when you realize that when you're just trying to be free, you're just trying to be free and help others be free, and the state comes after you because, well, the state doesn't want you to be free. There's no what is it? There's no profit in peace, man. You can't profit off of peace.
That's true. You know, most people think that the justice system is really about finding the truth of guilty or innocent, and there is that other angle that it's all about money.
Mhm. Well, let's talk about what is Susie and Doc being accused of doing. What is their crime? Putting their name on a piece of paper that might look like a piece of paper that the United States government / Texas, or the United States occupied area of Texas.
Oh, okay. I guess I get where you're going on that, and we will dive into, you know, what the paper was when we get back. I'm Steve O'Brien, and you're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. Hang on.
Your money. What is it worth today? A $100 bill in 1913 is worth only $2 today. So now your money is just about worthless, and the Fed will continue printing more and more of it. But what if you could turn it around, $1 at a time, and make your money worth more than it is now? How? By acquiring gold before your paper money is totally worthless. But how can you afford gold at today's prices? By buying it 1 gram at a time. And this is so important because gold is the future. For as little as $65, you can begin trading your almost worthless currency for something real, something you can hold. Carat bars, which keep their value, can be stored securely and are easily accessible, just like a savings account, but a savings account backed by your gold. Carat Bars International, a savings account you can count on. For more information, please click on the Carat Bars banner ad at republicbroadcasting.org. Again, that's the Carat Bars banner ad at republicbroadcasting.org. And start saving now.
Herbal Healer Spring Sale. 500 parts per million colloidal silver. All sizes. COQ10 with hawthorn. Glucosamine chondroitin. Sea cucumber. Colloidal minerals. Superfam and Super Male Plaques. Colon Enhancer. Our top-selling liquid. Cal Mag Vitamin D. MSM Sulfur Capsules. And Elderberry Power Capsules. We also offer certificate correspondence courses in natural medicine. Free memberships and free online newsletters also available at herbalhealer.com. Herbal Healer has been serving the natural medicine industry for 25 years. This is a company you can count on. Visit herbalhealer.com today. herbalhealer.com. That's herbalhealer.com.
Hi, my name is David Merlin from takefromcaesar.us. Income is defined in the tax code. All property is a cost, including labor, according to statute. You're deprived of the provisions of Section 83 whenever you pay an income tax on your compensation. According to Section 83, only the excess over the amount paid is gross income. The government can't so much as provide an interpretation of Section 83 of its own. Get your paradigm shift and understanding today at takefromcaesar.us.
What are you thinking? Micro plant powder with iodine and probiotics for a total body detox for around $10 a month. HempUSA.org has 12 formulations of micro plant powder for absorbing and removing toxins from your kidneys, liver, blood, lungs, stomach, and colon, and feel better than ever. It alkalizes, oxygenates, Kills parasites. Does the job of 10 products. That saves you space, time, and money. Call 888-910-4367. Only at MUSA.org.
We're back. You're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. I'm your host, Steve O'Brien. And we were just talking about Dr. David Krupa and Susie Kamick's, trial and how that's going out. This is an event for the Republic of Texas, TexasRepublic.com. Let's get back to it. So what was going on? So they allegedly simulated a legal document, right? Isn't that the charge?
Right. They simulated recklessly a document that is maybe similar to what the state of Texas uses.
Oh, it's not anything close to what the state of Texas uses, right? It's
that's why I'm saying if you listen to the prosecutor's words very closely, he says that it may look like it. But for him too, as well, like we learned in the first time we went in at the arraignment, he says that it's this is an open shut case, blah blah blah. It's clear, simple. I got this. He was all, and that first one, I saw a difference in him between this time and the first time around. But he also was in the beginning he was very brash and he knew that he was going to. Yeah, for him it was an open shut case. The second time around, he kind of seemed more like he's not too sure that. He knows it's not going to be quick in a hurry. He knows that this.
Man, he was doing the pee-pee dance. I mean, that guy was more nervous than I've ever seen a prosecutor in my life. I mean, he couldn't hold himself, still. Fidgeting, twitching, jumping, going, whoa, man, you're a Mexican jumping bean. And it was kind of curious. Laughing. I know, and he already had one of them on the ropes, but then he had Susie Kamick coming up. And that's kind of like, it's kind of a different battle when you come up in the legal system with, a complete newbie, a good person. You drag them into court and you say, hey, we're going to take your life, throw you in prison, because Doc had some other things hanging over him. He had the fact that he was licensed to do business, in the state of Texas as a doctor. So, part of that thing, they have a bunch of hooks into him, and because if they convicted him of simulating a legal document, there's a whole bunch of other things they could go after him with, and he would have done prison time. At least that's what they told him, right? You remember that?
Right, yeah, no, I do.
Yeah. But we don't know what's true and what's not, because what comes out of the prosecutor's mouth is absolute bull. They lie. They lie. That's their job, just to get a conviction, and they'll tell you anything. I'm going to come at you with 12 counts of XYZ. How do you like that? Sign my paper. Take a plea.
I'm just sure.
Right. Yeah, okay.
And that was one of the things that I kind of, we talked to Rupa afterwards, we talked to everyone afterwards too, and it's one of the things I kind of told him is that you should have told him, I'm willing to plead, but I don't like this deal. Let's try something else. Because they want you to plead out. They want you to plead out. They want you to not take this to trial. That prosecutor doesn't want to go through the hassle of trial. You can tell that he is, irritated enough. The fact that he knows that Miss Kamick's going to take this all the way.
Right.
As all the way. She's not going. There's going to be 6 members of a jury. There's going to be, reports about this other than right here on RBN.
Susie, don't sit down. Hang on. Going around the commercial break. Be right back.
The word vigor is defined in the dictionary as health and strength in body and mind. Do you have enough health and strength in body and mind? Would you like to pursue life with passion? Would you like to know where you stand when it comes to your vigor score? That's right. There's a free scientific test you can take now that'll help you find out what your vigor score is. Then you can do things to improve that score. Did you know that? It's absolutely free, Free. All you got to do is get a hold of Kurt Crosby. You can do so, C-U-R-T, that's Kurt, C-U-R-T, at LibertyRoundtable.com. Or call Kurt at 801-669-2211. That's 801-669-2211. Would you like to learn about the scientifically proven Vigor test? It's free. How would you like to improve your Vigor score? Again, inexpensive solutions are available now. Call Kurt Crosby at 801-669-2211 or Kurt, C-U-R-T, at LibertyRoundtable.com for your free Vigor score test today.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
Okay, we're back. Well, this is the long segment, and you're listening to the Republic of Texas Radio. I'm Steve O'Brien, and I have Frankie Nieto on. We're talking about the pre-trial hearing of Dr. David Krupa and Susie Kamek. Frankie was just telling us that